got bullied beyond all belief. This is our first real test and we failed miserably. Big up yourself, DG. You're a real one. I hear that and I agree. But if we won this game, which we didn't, people would have said, oh, this is the Liverpool team that's lost twice. I mean, drew and lost. So I hear that, but they said, they said Villa's a big test. They said Leicester's a big test. They said Spurs, regardless of the form of these teams. When we won, they flipped it. I agree with you. But yeah, man. Here we go. These fools coming with the Arteta out banners. Listen, banters. I don't know what them man are on, but yeah. DG, do you think this playing out from the back works for us? Well, yeah, but it's like you got to know when. And I think, obviously, looking at that game, we're in trouble because we're playing out from the back, which clearly at times we're getting caught. The players need to be smarter. And I think the players lacking bravery. We're kicking the ball long. We've got no out ball in it. There's only so many times Aubameyang can challenge a first header and his hold-up play isn't the best. There's only so many times Laka can get there. This is why you need better midfielders that, you look at Jorginho, Kovacic, these sort of man, not necessarily the names as great as they are, people that want the ball, people that will hold on to it. That's a form of defending. Lo and behold, we're giving the ball back to Liverpool. We're getting caught on the transitions. The last 2 goals, what we doing? Like, fair enough. Tavares has made a stupid mistake, but the last 2 goals, like, it's a series of bad habits. And as you lot know, old habits die hard. It's got a long way to go. There's positives to work on and build upon, but we've got a long way to go, people. Long way to go in this football team. We sit 5th. Try and move in it. You feel sorry for yourself, it's going to get worse, man. And this is it for me, bro. You can't fight Liverpool's unrelenting pressing without having a creative midfielder that's eager to receive and distribute at the snap of a finger. Exactly. Partey and Olakonga can't do them thing there. 4-0 has to be unacceptable, even against a team that's much better than us. Once we start making excuses and accepting this type of performance, we're a joke. Man said, big up the Liverpool fans. Man said, this must be our first clean sheet. Let's hope it continues. And that's the thing that jars me. Like, Liverpool ain't got nothing for their analytical teams to run back. Appreciate that. I don't know if I'm great, man. You're not as bad as United. You'll be close at the end. Young team learn. I don't know. It's not about United, but think, any team can put a run of form together. United did it last year. We'll learn our lessons. We need to go again, man. Lack of killer instinct offensively and defensively. Never first to the ball in this game. The cost of competition. I honestly think Leno should have come on and Martinelli. Those 2 positions could have changed things, in my opinion. Not that they're my first choice. I just know Leno is proven and Aubameyang is slacking. What? This wasn't a 4-0 win, to be honest. Montel, I hear that, but they literally scored 4 goals, brother. Like, it was. Watch the game, Twitter overreacting. We beat ourselves rather than they beat us. Gab beast Salah, proud of him. To be fair, I wouldn't, Gabriel acquitted himself quite well against Salah. I wouldn't say he stopped him. And, end of the day, they won 4-0 and he got on the score sheet. I agree in that we handed Liverpool their goals. Liverpool didn't have to be at their maximum. But by the same flip of the token, that's why Liverpool are a great side. Like I said, a lion might not necessarily go hunting for his food in the wild, but if a bruised deer or something walks past, he's savaging. You give opportunities, they score. And that's what there was. Lions in Jota, Salah, and Mane, the front three. Them and they were probably thinking, "Oh, I'm grabbing a goal." So there's going to be overreaction, but Arsenal fans lack balance. We drew against Brighton. Fans started crying. We go 10 games unbeaten. Fans are talking about, just doing the mad thing. And now they're probably, we're the worst thing since sliced bread. Football brings out a lot of emotion and people lack perspective. People are going to waffle about losing 4-0. People are going to try and find positives where they're none. We're both are right and both are wrong. We lost 4-0. There is no positives. You need to look at all those goals again. But at the same time, there were things we could take from it. But there's no way, shape, and form. If you concede 4 goals, you deserve that. You might switch off for 1 goal and you lose 1-0. If you concede 4 goals, you deserve that, especially 3 goals in 1 half, especially the standard of goals we conceded. Man are tapping into an empty net. Man are going around the keeper. People are Liverpool men are getting sandwiched in between our defenders. People are switching off and playing square passes and being intercepted. Things you can't afford to do. Things I'm sure these boys didn't work on the training ground. I hear what you're saying and I see the structure of it. But, bro, Your goalkeeping is amazing. I was punching the TV with some of his saves. Our second-rate players beginning to look like a first teamers. To be fair, Minamino must have scored a record time in goal against us. Ox had a good game in my opinion, and Jota, I wouldn't say Jota's a second-rate player, but you're always going to struggle to fight with Firmino and that, and he's and all them players. But it's a mazza. Liverpool don't, and therefore not going to change tactic for us, and didn't. Arteta needs to man up and start subbing off the favourites when they're playing bad. To be fair, he could have made a lot of subs. I didn't understand when he brought on Nene. Don't want to come across as really, but there was one time we played out really. But there was a handful of chances we got for, but we just didn't really believe, man. I don't think we failed miserably. There are reasons to be more positive, like we saw in the first half. I mean, you don't get any football's a 90-minute game. You don't get anything for playing well for 45 minutes, where you conceded the silly goal. But you conceded 4, bro. As an Arsenal Football Club, if we're talking about the handful of chances that we've had going forward, if we're focusing on 10 minutes when we've lost 4-0, I hear it. I'm not going to do the shouting thing. And like I said, people lack balance, but this is what I mean. Like, if we start cutting excuses, we just need to be honest. It was appalling today in the second half, so it was appalling in the game. It doesn't matter that it was 1-0 at halftime. It doesn't matter. Fundamentally, it's down. And what is said between these boys. Ramsdale just deep in his Amazon, man. DG thoughts on our outlet play. We don't have an outlet. We've got no one who can hold up the ball. We ain't got midfielders who that's their strength. It's a myth, man. Make sure you're hitting the like button and all of those good things, people. Can we get to 400? We're at 387. Man said Aubameyang and offside are looking like a wavy relationship right now. I love Aubameyang, but you're doing man dirty. There was a couple of moments in the second half we looked a bit better, like we was going forward, but again, they're minimal. If we're waffling about minimal chances, it's tiresome, bro. It's like when we played Liverpool a few years ago and lost. But man, are talking about Pepe's dribble against Van Dijk. It's mad, man. It's mad. End of the day, Brighton and Graham Potter got a point at Anfield. We didn't. The two games aren't the same, but why is that? Horrible day, man. And obviously, bro, yeah, to be fair, gassed them, bro. They've done it against the wrong guy. Klopp probably on that. Klopp needed a reason, man. Do you know what? If we probably left Liverpool alone and didn't wake them up like that or wake Klopp up like that, we might have been all right. Boy, if you look at our last 6 trips to Anfield, 3-1, these are all L's, of course, in the league. Pardon me. 3-1 L, 4-0 L, 5-1 L, 3-1 L, 3-1 L, 4-0 L. Pardon me. Hardly looked like a team that wanted to put that right today. I'm being harsh, but football is harsh. Football is harsh. Life is harsh. Do you think the world cares that you're a good worker? Good people get fucked over all the time. The world doesn't. Football does not care that you got a young squad and you didn't deserve to concede. Football don't give a shit about that. Liverpool don't care about that. Newcastle are not going to care about that next week. They need to stay in the league. We're not going to care that Newcastle need to stay in the league and anything else being done. Football's ruthless, Like, it's kill or be killed. Somehow we shot ourselves today, but it's calm. So yeah, we did kill it. It was kill or be killed. We just killed ourselves. Fair play. Like that scene in Squid Games when that mad woman who beat my man just collect. She just jumps on him and just kills them all. If you ain't watched Squid Games, then that scene's ruined, and it serves you right for taking too long to watch that thing there. What you reckon? I was screaming that. Change the thing. Accept that L and move. Yeah, we got ripped, man. Boy. I saw it got some time, man. Well, we sat too deep. We ain't got no plan what we're doing on the transition. It's just a mad thing, really. But when we have life, it's cool, man. But yeah, man, let's get into the review of this game, people. Let me offer my review of this game, man. Now that I've taken in you lot's comments. Yeah, man. In relation to this game, I don't know where to put myself. I think this is a game where you can have your opinion. I can't tell anyone it wasn't a terrible game. We lost 4-0. I can't tell anyone there's not positives in this game, because there was. What I will say, it's a game where you need to look at it without your personal thought and look at it objectively without emotion. It's a game where there's many wrongs and there's quite a few. There's an okay amount of rights. End of the day, first things first, football's about fine margins. As I was saying, football doesn't care that you was good in the first 10 or that you was on it in the first half until you conceded, or if there was a little reaction. You need to play well for 90 minutes. That's something we haven't been able to say even in this 10 game unbeaten run. We've got, I don't want to say getting away with it, but as I said, we've gotten away with it at times. Yeah. Not against Liverpool. Second half capitulation, and I think, people have to keep their standards up. I'm not, Lokonga to everybody, but Lokonga, Tavares, the young players, they're losing the ball. They're playing blind passes. They're Tomiyasu, who's praised for as solid as he was defensively. The last two goals, in fact, the last two goals, where is he? Left Ben White hanging. And obviously individual mistakes. I don't feel we quite believed in ourselves going forward. So, and in many ways, it weren't quite the same embarrassing performance I'm accustomed to Arsenal playing home and away, but in many ways it was, because it's another game you've conceded 4. If we've really turned a corner defensively and love defending as these boys have, then they should feel sick of conceding 4 cheap goals. We talked, I think many fans wanted to, didn't want to lose, but we would accept losing provided the performance. And there was a bit of fight, but at the end of the day, you lost 4-0, and it's the same reality where you've handed those goals to Liverpool. As I said, Liverpool didn't have to work for the goals, but if you presented food, they're going to eat, like their front three did. It's like we didn't know the threat that Salah could contain, even though I think Gabriel did well against him. I actually feel Ben White did all right, and Ramsdale, of course. But at the end of the day, we conceded 4. I did feel the first half. I couldn't question the tactics with the limitations of this team. As I keep saying, this is another game that highlights you need a midfielder or two. It's another game that highlights a lot of these young players aren't quite ready to put in consistent performances against these sort of teams. I don't think we had an out ball, which, obviously Lacazette and Smith Rowe are doing what they can to compact the midfield. I don't feel we had an out ball. I feel we're just going long unnecessarily. I did feel we was playing all right, playing out from the back in the first half, but we was getting caught. I didn't feel we had any true belief going forward. Needed a bit more from Saka, in my opinion, and Tomiyasu across all aspects. Tavares, not going to turn on him, but didn't have the best of games, and is a bit of a reality check. Personally, I feel if you're Ainsley Maitland now / El Nene, if you're Pepe for Saka, if you're Tierney, not that Tierney's been amazing this season, I think these are guys that could play against Newcastle, if I'm completely honest with you. It was boys against men, tactically there wasn't much. As I keep saying, we needed a midfielder in the summer, and games like this, look, why? Because there's no out ball. We're clearing the ball and we're defending okay for the first, up until the first goal, but no one, we ain't got no dribblers that can hold on to the ball and get us further up the pitch and relieve pressure. We ain't got no centre mids that can distribute it. And, it's a good effort from Partey considering he's not fully fit. And Lokonga weren't amazing, but he done okay. And it's a game of the fine margins again. You've got to switch on and you've got to keep the high standards, especially when you're getting tired. Obviously, when you're defending as much as we had to do against Liverpool, it's upsetting. Obviously, considering we were 10 games unbeaten and these things, and you would have thought go to Anfield, you lot try and put in a performance at a ground we haven't traveled to and done well of too many times. We didn't do that, did we? Really and truly. So it's more or less the same stuff, if I'm honest, which is frustrating. Again, second half, I feel the players messed up, but Arteta, I feel there was at 1-0. I said it in my live stream. I was like, let's just go through it at the back, save a bit of face. We didn't. The floodgates opened, didn't it? Really and truly. I do think we should keep some perspective. Again, we're not where it's a reality check if you needed one, because we're not at the level fans were claiming. But I would also say we've got to keep perspective. You were shit today. You lost, but you're still 5th. You messed up the goal difference, but you're still 5th. You can't afford to feel sorry for yourself. Everybody wants 3 points. United and Newcastle want 3 points as much as us. Get back on it. Go on a new 10-game unbeaten run. You've lost 1 game in your last 11 games. 10 unbeaten, this one. The ratio is still good. Don't feel you're better than what you are, because I feel there's a lot of complacency in our team. I feel people thought we could just rock up here and do something. We're struggling to really, to to have a purpose building out from the back in games like this because there's no out ball. We don't look like a team that wants to score. There were minimal occasions, including an offside goal. We went forward. But again, if we're counting on one hand these minimal occasions, we're not doing much really. I just think we lacked a bit of belief ultimately. If I scroll back up my comments, I think within the first 10 minutes, I think, you know, we were very compact. I think across the game, there was moments where players showed naiveties. Ben White had a good game, as much as you can say of the team that's conceded for. I think he's charging out from the back unnecessarily. I think Tomiyasu, Tavares, Lokonga in particular all struggled for young people. First 10, it looked like a game of chess. You know, Liverpool's back line had lots of the ball. We clearly weren't trying to press. We were sitting off them and then dealing with it in the trigger zones, you know. And we know going into this game, there's going to be moments you're going to have to defend, clear your lines, camp in your own half. And there was elements of that. I think 10 to 20 minutes for the neutrals, it was lacking a bit of tempo. Liverpool started to wake up. And I feel, to be honest, Arteta pissing off Jurgen Klopp probably done the worst thing because that's when Liverpool truly woke up and we couldn't cope, innit? You know, from minute 20 to 30, it felt like we're losing the ball too cheaply. There was a heart and mouth moment where Ramsdale, he had a good game, but he spilt it. We had no out ball once again. From minute 30 to 45, we began to become under the cosh. Ramsdale is starting to save us. We're creeping into old habits. Liverpool are going up several gears and we're very reactive. We've conceded a foul. You know, Tomiyasu and Gabriel have switched off and other players as well. They've scored from a set piece, people, and done quite well. At that point, we're like, all right, cool. It's Liverpool aren't playing how they normally play, but we've, you know, it's a fantastic ball from Trent. We've given them that goal. All right, cool. Second half, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on at half time, but we're getting to that. I think at half time, it's 1-0. I think there is a bit more fight. I think we have rid our luck at times. Many of the things that we're doing, we expected. You have to ride your luck. You're going to be under the cosh. You're going to have less of the ball playing Liverpool. Definitely where we're at. But we're doing okay. A lot that we need to do better. Often barely anything going forward. Need to see a bit more bravery. Need to see a bit more outlets, whether that's a midfielder holding on to the ball or a winger kind of driving and getting further up the field. As I said, within the current limitations of our 25-man squad, I'm not angry at these players because I was saying that these things were going to be needed in the summer. And I feel like a broken record and someone sounded like a know-it-all when I'm far from that. I just watch my team. I love my team and I can see what I go on in certain aspects. But anyways, people, it felt like at halftime, I'm thinking it's not over. Did we really not expect to concede or probably go a goal down? It's 1-0. You know, as I said at the start or in my previews, many people expect you to get battered and lose. So be a bit fearless. What you got to lose? Really and truly, if everyone knows what's going to happen and say you lack heart and the rest of it, you know, I felt we could have been a bit more braver, had a bit more belief on the ball. I think we've defended okay. There's no options for the ball. Fine margins have gone against us. You know, we switched off. And again, game management. I think that could be said throughout the whole game. How you end the first half, how you start and end the second half, how you manage the first 10 of the second half and the last 10 of the second half, you know, especially, and I keep saying it, when we get tired, the standards drop. And again, it's going to be tiring against Liverpool. Where without the ball, we're having to hold shape. This shit is knackering, you know. Sunday league players can tell you it. But this is about the mentality. And I feel in the second half, Arteta could have reacted a bit better. But it is what it is. I feel Saka and Tomiyasu are sleeping. I'm gutted to concede 6 minutes before half time. I felt we dropped off in the last 10, 15 minutes. I think this game once again highlighted the need for a number 8 or the players with a bit more ability going forward because everybody's quite limited in that regards. Second half, what can I say, man? We've made our task harder in it. Tavares is, I don't know what he's on. He's played a square pass. They've tapped it home in it. You know, it's made our task harder. And to be 2-0 down, it's frustrating because we switched off for the first goal and we've handed them the second, people, really and truly. Again, it's becoming boys v men, and the last 2 goals are absolutely ridiculous. And I'm looking at Arteta in the second half. I said it in my live stream. I said, even at 1-0, I was like, listen, we need to go 3 at the back. We need just the way the game is going and, you know, the way we're playing and kind of just clearing it. We need to accept this game is gone. We need to think about the goal difference. We need to think about the confidence. Clearly, these players are volatile. A big result like Spurs makes these guys think they're good, which they are, you know, he thinks they're the best thing since sliced bread. When they play bad like today where you lose 4-0, do I think they should keep perspective that, okay, cool, hold your L's to this game. As I said, you need balance reviewing this, but you've gone 10 unbeaten. You know, you're not where you think you are. You're definitely not as good as you think you are, but you're not as bad as this game is. There's a middle ground. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and get back on it. And I think clearly, you know, I think Arteta could have done that. I feel Arteta, you set us up with what you could in the first half. I feel you showed a bit of fight. And as I said, maybe you should have settled down. You got Klopp going. You got the fans going. You got them man going. But I think second half, he could have made changes. Players needed saving. Lokonga needed to come off way before he came off. Personally, I don't know how Saka played that long. I'll be real. Tomiyasu was drowning. Tavares was drowning. Every player was, the strikers are anonymous. It's just not happening really. End of the game, as I said, these young players need to learn. When I look at Ben White, time and a place. When I look at Ramsdale dropping the ball, even though Ramsdale had a good game. When I look at Lokonga's standards dropping. When I look at Tavares, these are learning lessons for these young players. I'm going to be honest, need a lot more from Saka. I've been saying it, and I said in this game, if he doesn't drop a marker, I do think you've got to look to at least, I'm not saying drop him forever, but he needs to not start that game against Newcastle. Now, funny enough, he probably will start and probably score, and we're going, and he's the best thing since sliced bread once again. But yeah, man, it's jarring, it's self-inflicted, These are the games, man. I don't think these have to be the games you learn lessons, because I as I've said before, the whole game period, if you go and watch Villa again, Leicester again, Spurs again, even Watford, the fine margins and the signs were there. Fans only want to take it in when the fine margins go against us. These players have been dropping their standards for a while. Complacency is gone. You all start again. Everybody's trying to earn their spot again. And I think games like this shown where we need to be able to adapt towards personnel and have different options. But it's crazy. We barely create. We've scored 7 goals from open play in the season. I think that sums up everything, really and truly. If you needed a reality check, this is a reality check, people. And, with that, what can I say? We lost 4-0, innit? We just have to focus on Newcastle. It's a sort of result I'm accustomed with, Again, in many ways, it was a bit of a different performance, but fundamentally, in many ways, it was the same. And certain players did a lot of fighting to talk about Salah, this, that, and the other. What the fuck were they doing today? But that's all I've got to say about the game, people. Really. We'll do the player